Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm out in the field. I've got with me a Maven RS3. Now what this is one of Maven's premier hunting optics. Now Maven got a hold of me. They reached out and basically said, hey, would you like to review one of our optics? We've been checking out your content. So I had a couple emails back and forth with Maven and we settled on this RS3 based on the content that I've been making. So I've had a lot of time out in the field lately and I've been producing content that has to do with hunting. So here we are landed with the RS3, which is one of their premier hunting optics. Now this is a 5-30 by 50 first focal plane optic. Now this optic uses a 30mm tubes and it does not have illumination on it. So I'm gonna get some shoot through footage for you guys to check this out. Now this is just gonna be a quick overview of this optic, kind of tip to tail, checking it out. I am gonna be mounting this optic up on two different platforms. I'm gonna have this out at the target range. I'm gonna be twisting around the turrets and checking out the tracking and how this thing holds zero and how the zero stop works and what's the quality of the glass and everything like that. But I'm going to be moving it over then to a centerfire rifle that I'm going to be using for some deer hunting. So I hope to get some deer hunting shots with this. I'm going to try to get the Tacticam mounted up on it and get some shoot through footage with this RS3. So I'm going to pull it off the 2Vets tripod here and start moving this thing around, let you guys check it out and let you know what I think of it. Now Maven shipped this optic from Wyoming over here to Michigan to me and it landed on my doorstep in 2 days. They shipped the optic via USPS, standard box, nothing too fancy about it. Inside that box, Maven includes a small tool that you're going to use to set up your zero stop, and this optic also is included with it a scope cover. So there's a neoprene scope cover, works really well. There's some strong elastic around it so you don't have strings and things like that to fiddle with, no Velcro. Some thick neoprene that's going to protect the scope from falls as well as kind of insulate it if you head out on those frosty mornings. So it's going to keep this thing ready to go if you need that shot. Pull it off real quick and pop it right back on. Now, last thing before I really get to talking about this optic, if you are interested in a Maven product, you're going to have to buy these directly from Maven. So you got to go on their webpage. It's well laid out. It's simple to navigate. They've got a nice section where they compare the features and the specs and everything of all the different products, but they do not sell these to big box stores. They don't have a dealer network or anything like that. So aside from the used market, you're going to have to get these direct from Maven. And now that's where videos and the content like I'm creating come in handy, because it may be difficult to get your hands on one of these things to do some kind of fiddling through and looking through it. Now I did see that their spotting scopes and their binoculars and things like that, they offer a demo program, so you can reach out to Maven. They will send you those. You can try them out, check them out, and there are some purchase options, but they do not offer that with their rifle scopes, and there's some reasoning why. You know, these rifle scopes require special tools, some special knowledge to get them mounted up, and they don't want the demo scopes getting damaged. They don't want people mounting these improper. So you're at the mercy of content like this, the interweb or whatnot, social media, as far as getting some impressions of these products. So this product, this RS3 was manufactured in Japan. So this has Japanese glass on it and it was assembled in Japan, and Maven marks that out. The origin is right here on the bottom of this optic. So now here we go. Let's get to talking about this thing. So tip to tail. Now this optic is one that is available in two different colors. So I've got this one in a black and a gray set that they offer it. It also comes in just all black. Now some of their scopes have a cool anodized orange that you can get, as well as black and gray and whatnot. They do also offer some customization as far as etching that you can get on these. So this ring right here, you can get some custom etching put on there, as well as custom turrets. And again, that's all stuff that you're going to find on their webpage. Super easy to navigate and find out how to do that and get that process going. Back to this guy here. Now looking at the scope, now going through here and checking out the reticle. Now I have the mill option. This is also available in MOA. And this is a mill reticle that is set up for hunting. So there's not a huge Christmas tree with all kinds of different holdovers. It's very simple and it's laid out. That's easy to kind of decipher through which number that I'm looking at. I'm going to move this diopter around a bit while I'm talking. And there's something that I'd like you guys to see. Now on this diopter, they put a little diamond on there, and I like that. That allows you to put this thing right back to the orientation that you had it at. Maybe you bump it, you've got scope caps on there, you loan it out. You can get it right back to getting your reticle focused how you like it. Now the diopter on this is moving really free. I'm moving this from one extreme to the next, taking it all the way out and back all the way in. It's really smooth. It's got a firm kind of a feel to it. It's not overly tight and it's not really loose and sloppy. It's got a consistent feel to it and an amount of tension that I like. So the diopter is moving good. There's no binding. I'm really working a bit to see if it's going to loosen up, if I'm going to get any free play in it, and nothing is happening. Looking through it, it is focusing the reticle nicely, and it was coming in and out of focus like you'd expect. It was not moving to the extent that this was super touchy, as well as it wasn't like gross movements. The diopter set up well. Moving on to the side focus or the parallax. So this is marked from 70 up to infinity for your side focus. Now again, I'm going to move this around a little bit while we're talking. This has a nice solid feel to it. And one of the things that I like to do with these is when I move these side focuses around, if you give them kind of a little wiggle like that, sometimes there's some free play in the mechanism inside. I'm not getting that with this. It's got a nice level of tension to it. Feels just like the diopter actually. I'm gonna look through this and see if the images, I'm looking about 100 yards away at a tree line and seeing if these images are coming in and out of focus. And I've got it set right at the 100 to see how close this is to my eye, and it's pretty close. Now the side focus is working well, and those number markings, though they're not absolute, they seem to have got them pretty close. So that feels well. Moving on to the magnification ring. Now this is a 5 to 30. There is an optional throw ring that you can get for this as well. That's again on the web page. Now this magnification ring moves really smooth, and what I can tell you is the resistance moving this, and this. So your diopter, your magnification changer, and your side focus, the tension is consistent on all three. Now I like that. Everything feels about the same. This is moving real free, no binding or anything in there. Sometimes scopes, when they're brand new, these are really tight. You get to moving them around. I think some lubrication or some O-rings or something set in, but in this case, this has the same feel. As I keep moving this, it's not getting any looser. It's not getting tighter or anything like that. It really does have the same tension as the diopter and as the parallax. It's really equal. I like that about it. So I'm going to spin this down to 5 here. Move it up, and with this being a first focal plane optic, as I increase this magnification, you know, my reticle appears to be getting larger. It's taking up more space here, and it's got a reticle to it that I like. As I spin this all the way down to 5, I can still see the center on it. Now I run into some optics, first focal plane ones, when you spin them all the way down, it's difficult to actually see the center crosshairs or whatnot. And it's not the case with this. I can see it all the way down at 5, and when I spin her all the way up to 30, it gets pretty thick, but I still have, you know, it looks like I can go all the way to 5 with my vertical and my windage on there. So magnification ring works as I would expect, and the optic is coming in and out of magnification as I would expect. So I am going to have more on that when we get this mounted up on the rifles. Now let's get to the turrets. Now everybody likes to know how do these things feel. So let's move around this windage one first. Now these have a nice degree of knurling on them. It's kind of sharp, but it's not to the point that I would find it's going to be taking skin off my finger or anything like that. It's got a level of knurling that it really is a quality thing. As you look at more quality products, they tend to have sharper knurling, and these are sharp but not too sharp. The feel of these clicks, it is very absolute. There is a definite between each of these tenths of a mil. As I click this, there is a definite bang, bang, bang in between each one. Very tactile, as they say, and very audible. Very impressed with that, and I'm getting no free play at all between there. I can see that snazzy Maven logo on the side there. That's kind of a classy little touch they put on there. But the windage, oddly, even moving the turret around, I don't know if this is something they intend to do, but the tension of moving this thing around and clicking it, well, it's a little bit different, but it's pretty close to even the moving parts on this. Let's get this back on a 0 here. Now let's move around our elevation one. Again, very audible, very tactile, feels exactly like the windage one. That's a good thing. I have had optics before that these don't feel the same and it leads to problems. So that is a good sign here. Now the thing that I gotta say that I really like about this Maven RS3 is their zero stop setup. So that little tool that's included with it is designed to lock out this ring. And I'm going to show you guys more with that when I have this mounted up at the range. But what you do is you get this thing zeroed up, you get this thing spun where you want it, everything is zeroed, and you simply spin this ring, lock it in place where it needs to be, and there's a tiny little set screw in there, and that's what that tool's for. You lock that in place and this won't go down anymore. That is your zero stop. So I really, really like that. I'm not sure if anybody's had issues with that tiny little screw coming out. I can't see that happening. It is knurled and everything is, gosh, it's really machined well. So it's a real good fit on that, but that's a real kind of a nice nifty little zero stop setup. So getting these turret caps off, you might wonder, are there set screws going around there? Is there a coin slot in the top? Nothing like that. The knurled part of this optic, or this turret, is going to spin off. Now you wouldn't even notice that looking at it. So this cap is going to spin off. Now this cap is also aluminum. There's really no plastic on this thing. And that's how your turret comes off. Both turrets come off the same way. You can see the brass internals inside the optic. Nothing is plastic in there. I wouldn't expect that with a premium optic like this and with the premium feel that I'm getting from these turrets. Now getting this back on here, there's simply, you know, it's machined out really well, but there's a little cap here. It's going to go in there. You know, it might be something that you put a little bit of thread lock on there if you were concerned about this cap coming off. But I've had these off a few times, been playing around with this thing, and you can snug this up pretty darn tight. I've actually tried to see if I could spin it out and ruin it. Not happening. It tightens up really well. So that is how you take your turrets off, and that's how you put your turrets back on. So hey, that's kind of it. I don't know really what else to talk about with this thing prior to getting it out to the range for you guys. Now I do have the shoot through footage. It's difficult getting real good clear shoot through footage with a camera that's not mounted up kind of like to the optic itself. So I've got a little bit of footage so you guys can see this thing, and this is out at 300 yards. It's very good glass on this optic. I am very impressed with it. All the way from 5 up to 30, I didn't have any kind of issues looking out past 500 yards with this optic. There was no that chromatic aberration going around the edges. I didn't have any sort of distortion of the reticle. There was no blurring anywhere. Moving everything up and down, moving around the side focus and the magnification. The glass is some of the clearest that I've looked through. So the glass is very good on this. And it's difficult to get that shoot through without this thing mounted up on my rifle again. So I'm kind of going at that. You got to take my word for it before I get you out to the range with it. But overall, my first impressions of this Maven RS3 and my experiences with Maven in general have been very positive. Now this optic comes with a lifetime warranty. They appear to have quick shipping, and going through the internet, they seem to have a very good following when it comes to customer service. So when people are trying to get a hold of them, there's a lot of good responses as far as they're very astute and quick with replies and whatnot. So again, hey, here is the Maven RS3. I hope you guys check out the other content. I'm going to have this thing out at the range really soon. Going to be spinning these turrets around, seeing if this thing will track, seeing if it will hold that zero. I'm going to bump it around a little bit. I'm definitely not doing a torture test with this thing. We're going to be throwing it across a canyon or something, at least yet. But then I'm going to be moving it over and hoping to get you guys some live hunting shots with this thing out in the field on my 6.5 Creedmoor. So hey, thanks for checking back into the channel. Thanks for checking out this Maven RS3. Check out their webpage. Check back soon. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to have some pretty cool content following up with this thing. So hey, until next time, get on out there and keep on shooting.